Hare Krishna. So I welcome you all to this 13th session of our Bhakti Pravesa program. And today's topic is Sadhana, session 3. That is, today and the next session, we are going to focus on holy name. Yeah, the first 2 sessions we have completed about Sangha. So these 2 sessions, we are going to delve deeper into the concepts of the Mahamantra, chanting of the holy names. So, I'm going to chat. So thank you all for attending this session. It's a pleasure meeting you after some time. Today I'm going to discuss very wonderful and unique concepts of the process of bhakti in relation to the holy name. So the process of bhakti is so sweet, so beautiful, and so amazing. And it is said in the beautiful book called Madhurya Kadambini by Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Pad, that bhakti is like how the soul is to this body. So the process of bhakti yoga is to the other processes. So just like the body is moving and it is alive because of the presence of the soul, similarly, the other parts like the karma yoga, the jnana yoga, and ashtanga yoga are functional and are successful because of the element of. So bhakti is the culmination of all the yogic processes, and it is the most sublime and it is supreme. So in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Krishna speaks to Uddhava, and this is called the Uddhava Gita. And in this Uddhava Gita, Lord Krishna speaks very beautiful aspects of Bhakti Yoga. So today I just want to share one verse, which is very sweet. I'm just sharing the, can you please allow me to screen share? Yeah. So this is the verse from the 11th canto of the Bhagavatam. It is said, Badhyamano pimadbhakto vishayer ajitendriyaha praya pragalbhaya bhaktya vishayer rabhibhuyate. That is my dear Uddhava, Krishna is telling to Uddhava. If my devotee has not fully conquered his senses, he may be harassed by material desires. But because of his unflinching devotion for me, he will not be defeated by sense gratification. So this is a very, if you look deeply into this verse, it communicates many things. Yeah, that is, one has a tendency to think that bhakti means one should be completely devoid of all the anarthas, and that's when bhakti begins in one's heart. No. So Krishna is so merciful, and the process of bhakti is so benign that true bhakti also develops in the heart, which has not been yet completely cleansed of all the, lusty desires or material desires. Yeah, that is the nature of bhakti. Yeah. So we don't although we have so much of tapasya to be performed in order to attain to that process of the path of pure devotion, but still, as a process, Lord Krishna is so benevolent to those who are trying to practice that even though one has not fully conquered the senses, yeah, or he may be harassed by material desires. So do we have this experience? We try to practice and we are harassed by material desires. Even though we are harassed, we will not be defeated by sense gratification. Who will not be defeated? one who has unflinching devotion for Lord Krishna. So I just want to share a beautiful pastime in Vrindavan to explain this. This is very exalted, but it's a very sweet pastime. There is a place called Anjanuk in Vrindavan. Okay, Anjanuk. So this comes, I think, when we are traveling towards Varsana, somewhere in between. This place comes. It's called Anjanuk. So at this place, there is a stone. Okay, if you still rub that stone, there will, it's like little blackish. So what is the significance of this place? So one day, when Lord Krishna was performing his manifest pastimes in Bhauma Vrindavan, the place where Vrindavan is right now. So he was playing his flute. Yeah. So Krishna has different types of flutes. Oh, we can have, like in our Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, we're going to discuss about the different types of Krishna's flutes. One is called Murali, one is called Venu, one is called Vamshi. Yeah. And in that, each flute is meant for a different purpose. One is to call his friends, one is to call his cows, another is to call the gopis. And on each flute, there are different notes that he plays on. Yeah. So one note is to call the gopis. And one note, there is a very specific note on the 8th note of the flute. When Krishna plays this note, only Radharani can hear wherever she is. Yeah. So that day, while at Anjanuk, Lord Krishna was playing this beautiful note on his amazing and sweet flute. And Srimati Radharani heard this when she was in Varsana. So at that time, Radharani was actually in the process of, decorating herself to meet Krishna. So as she was decorating herself, she was putting kajal to her eyes. So when she was putting kajal, she put kajal only to one eye. And the moment she heard Krishna's flute, she couldn't hold on anymore. She couldn't wait anymore. Yeah. And she just stopped decorating herself and she left everything behind and she just ran to meet Krishna with that eagerness. So when she ran with eagerness to meet Krishna, finally she came to that place where there is Anjanuk today. And she meets and she face to face with Krishna. So when Lord Krishna was so jubilant, so happy to have the darshan of the goddess of his heart, his beloved Srimati Radharani. And as he was glancing upon Srimati Radharani, he noticed something, that she put kajal only for one eye. Yeah, in the other eye there is no kajal. So that's when, there was a stone right beside him. And he just rubbed his finger to the stone and he put the kajal to the next eye also. It's a very beautiful pastime. So when I was hearing this katha, the speaker told something so beautiful many years ago that I still cherish in my heart. That even a sadhaka, sometimes in his enthusiasm to serve Krishna, to offer his devotion to Krishna, to love Krishna, may not be fully perfect in many ways, may not be fully purified in the heart completely. But still, when one has an eagerness for Krishna, then Krishna completes the incompleteness in such a devotee. Just like, how Krishna has put kajal to the other eye of Srimati Radharani. Krishna reciprocates with the love of his devotee, even if he is not completely qualified, by adding the incomplete part in such a devotee as an offering, as an expression of his reciprocation to the love of a devotee. So this is what Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Ye Jana Paryupasate Tesham Ityabhiyuktanam yogakshema brahamyaham. That is, for a person who is unflinching in his devotion, Krishna carries what he lacks and preserves what he has. So whatever we have is preserved, and if we lack something, Krishna gives that, he carries that. So such is the beauty in the process of bhakti. And this is available, this offer is available only for bhakti yoga. Yeah. For the other processes like jnana and all, where a person has to so much depend on one's own abilities and endeavors. So in the same book, Madhurya Kadambini, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he describes in detail about the process of bhakti. Yeah, in the Nectar of Devotion, there are 6 characteristics of pure devotional service, which we will discuss in our Nectar of Devotion. The first 2 being Kleshagni and Shubhada. What is Kleshagni and Shubhada? Kleshagni means pure devotional service, that is Shuddha Bhakti, can destroy all the kleshas in one's heart. Yeah. And Shubhada means, Shubha means auspiciousness. Da means it bestows. Bhakti bestows all auspiciousness in the life of the devotee. Yeah. So the various kleshas, again, this we will discuss later, like avidya, abhinivesha, and raga, and too much attachment, too much of excessive. There are different types of kleshas which bhakti can destroy. This again, as I said, we will discuss. But what today we're going to discuss is the journey of a sadhaka on the path of bhakti. This is very interesting. So as we begin the process of bhakti, it begins with Shraddha. I highly recommend that if each of you have a pen and a paper, please take down. There are some technical terms that would come. It would be good if you can note them down for your future reference. So on the path of bhakti, in the 9 stages of bhakti, what is the first stage? Does anybody recall? What is the first stage out of the 9 stages of bhakti?
Shraddha.
Shraddha. Yeah, Adav Shraddha. Shraddha means faith. Yes. So this faith is of 2 types. Yeah. What are the 2 types of faith? Swabhavika and Balotpadita. What is Swabhaviki Shraddha? That which is natural to a person, that which is coming from previous births. Yeah. That is Swabhavika. If you see some people around us, by nature, they have a very strong faith. This has come either by your, lifetimes of sadhana, by the blessings of great souls. It can be anything. Yeah. So that is Svabhaviki Shraddha. The second type is Balotpadita. What is Balotpadita? As the name again suggests, Bala Utpadita. It has come by force. So this is sometimes there are very strong preachers. They come and literally brainwash. They tell you, see, this is illusion, this is reality. There is no other way but to actually surrender to the lotus feet of the Lord. Very systematically and conclusively they establish the truth. And because of which, some sincere listeners, they do develop faith. And this is also good. And this type of faith is called Balotpadita Shraddha. So this Shraddha means, in a sense, to have either faith in the process of bhakti, or even being enthusiastic in one's sadhana is also called Shraddha. So faith manifests as enthusiasm in one's practices. That means if one is not enthusiastic in one's practices of bhakti, it indirectly implies that we have not sufficiently developed proper faith in the process. Okay, so this helps us to evaluate ourselves. Where are we in the process of bhakti? Yeah. So it's very important to have our pointer set right, in which stage of bhakti we are, because when we know where we are, then we can work from that level onwards. So that is Shraddha. So Shraddha uh, leads a person to sadhu sangha. It is association of devotees. Yeah, one starts with some faith in the process of bhakti, and that brings one to the association. That means to a group of like-minded people who are all serious about this path. Yeah, which is one of the greatest gifts one can ever get in one's life. An association of devotees. Yeah, sadhu sangha is a great benediction, which even perfected devotees aspire for. So after sadhu sangha, then a person enters into the phase of bhajana kriya. So these are not watertight compartments, they're existing always, but these are different stages. So the third stage is bhajana kriya. This is very important because this is where lies our endeavor. So bhajana kriya is divided further into two. One is nishtita bhajana kriya, and the other type is anishtita bhajana kriya. What is nishtita bhajana kriya? Nishtita, as again the name suggests, is fixed up devotional service. Okay. Then what is anishtita bhajana kriya? Unsteady. Nishtita means steady devotional, steady bhajana. Anishtita is unsteady practice. So this is where generally the sadhakas are stuck. Anishtita bhajana kriya. That means unsteady practices. That means going up and down. So this anishtita bhajana kriya is of 6 types. So today we're going to discuss about these 6 types of anishtita bhajana kriya, because all of us more or less are dangling in this particular phase. That is, we all have developed Shraddha by the Lord, by Krishna's mercy, and understanding that yes, bhakti is a supreme process through all our whatever we have heard. Then we're also blessed with the Sadhu Sangha association of devotees. Then what comes and what is truly in our hands is bhajana kriya. But due to different reasons, this process is anishtita, that means unsteady. So today we're going to scientifically observe as to why and what are the different types of anishtita bhajana kriya, so that we can relate to it, examine it, and try to overcome it. Okay. So anishtita bhajana kriya, the first type is called the utsahamayi. Yeah. Utsahamayi. What is utsahamayi? False enthusiasm. This is, or false confidence. So this especially happens in the initial stages. Yeah. That is being over enthusiastic due to overconfidence in one's position, being falsely puffed up. I'll give you what is the example of Utsahamaya. We have come to Krishna consciousness, so maybe we've heard some philosophy, and we got to know some new terms, and all of a sudden we try to feel that we are superior. We look around people and think, oh, moodha, oh, this is Dushkritina. we start labeling people. Yeah. Oh, this one Naradhama perfectly fits the definition. And we start branding people. And me, oh, demigod worshipper, I am Krishna Bhakti. So this is like that Utsahamayi phase, very false confidence, very puffed up. I think it's, yeah, I'm the best. Okay, and I have to be compassionate on you. Yeah, I'm holier than thou. Get a halo behind. So this is the Utsahamai. So what happens is, one who is falsely puffed up cannot sustain a a clear, and a progressive graph in one's sadhana. Yeah. Whenever a person gets artificially puffed up about one's position, the flip side of it is one gives up the process. Yeah. So this is utsahamayi, over-ending, false confidence, being artificially puffed up in one's position. This is one of the causes of anishtita bhajana kriya, that is unsteady practice. So I'm sure this is all, this is the very purpose of our Bhakti Pravesa program, to become fixed up in our. So we have to be careful about this utsahamayi tendencies in ourselves, being over enthusiastic. The next is ghanatarala. Ghanatarala is another type of anishtita bhajana kriya. As the name suggests, ghana and tarala. Ghana, I mean, I think, if you understand Sanskrit, you understand these words. Ghana means thick, very thick. Tarala means it's light, thick and thin. That means sporadic endeavors. That means sometimes run fast and sometimes, okay, slow down. Yeah, so this is sometimes, this is like, the flip side of utsahamayi. Yeah, at one point of time being highly enthusiastic and sometimes being indifferent, not able to carry on. Why one is not able to carry on? Why sometimes a person can, why is that a person in this stage of anishtita bhajana kriya is sometimes overly enthusiastic and sometimes unable to be? Any guesses?
Modes of nature.
Because of, yes,
Modes of nature.
because of?
Like sometimes in sattvic mode, we are doing it better, but when tamasic mode comes, we are reduced.
Okay, because of, okay, modes. Okay, because of the modes of material nature acting on us. Okay, any specific reason that is born out of bhakti? Why is it that a person is unable to sustain enthusiasm? We all have this experience, right? Sometimes we are very enthusiastic to chant, to hear, even hearing. Even Josna says no regular hearing. Why we are unable to hear regularly? Yes, we are not hearing regularly, but why we are not able to hear regularly?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. I
Yes.
think our prior sanskar, which we had from from childhood, that
okay, Shivangi says our past samskaras, okay, from childhood. All right. So because of that, why? Sometimes people may be born in very unfortunate circumstance, no regulative principles. But why? My question is why? We are not reporting to someone. Okay, yes. These are all very good technical reasons. But the root of why we are not able to be consistent. Okay, I will put this question in the other way around. Because we don't have respect towards seniors. Okay, these are all attitudes. If we have this, if we have dash, then we are automatically consistent in our sadhana.
Shraddha.
Shraddha is fine. Because of Shraddha only we have come to bhakti. There is some amount of Shraddha that one has accepted the process of devotion, the path of bhakti, and thought that, yes, I will chant. Patience. Okay, patience is fine. Determination. Okay, determination. Sometimes we are determined, but still, we are unable to be consistent. Okay, I will give the answer. It is because we don't have taste. Once a person develops taste, ruchi, then there is no question of inconsistency. Because a person lacks taste, it goes up and down with whatever determination, with whatever strength we have, with whatever inspiration we are trying to gather, enthusiasm we are trying to absorb, with our practice, we will, somehow we are trying to raise our bar up, through the programs or through whatever endeavor we can. Somehow we try to rise the bar, but after some time it falls down. It falls down. Our, our hearing falls down. Our chanting falls down. Everything comes down. Why it comes down? It's because we do not yet have developed the taste. Once a person develops a taste for bhakti, you don't have to tell them anything. You don't need to push them for anything. We cannot but chant. We cannot but hear about Krishna. So this stage of Anishtita Bhajana Kriya, especially the Ghanatarana, sometimes enthusiastic and sometimes laid back, is because of a lack of taste. Okay, so, and then after that, there is something called Vyudha Vikalpa. Third type of Anishtita Bhajana Kriya is Vyudha Vikalpa. What is Vyudha Vikalpa? Indecision, an indecisive mind. Sometimes we think that, okay, let me first get my career right, get my job situation right, get my family situation right, and then I will begin. But then sometimes we hear something so amazing about bhakti, and I was like, no, I will dive into bhakti. I will chant now only. I will hear this. I will finish this book. I will perform bhakti right now. I cannot wait. And, we want to dive into devotion. And then after some time again, I think, no, I should be practical. I should live a example that will be very appealing to the society and masses. What will people think of me? What example am I setting? So, so let me focus on my material life. I can take up bhakti at any point of time later. Then again, see, this is what is indecision. That means not being clear about how to progress on the path of bhakti according to the stage that I am at currently. Unable to make a proper decision. How much and I can invest myself in the process. This is called Vyudha Vikalpa, indecision. So after that is Vishaya Sangara. What is Vishaya Sangara? Vishaya Sangara means inability to give up taste. Some of you were telling, one of you is telling about the past samskaras. That is so true. That's so true. I think Shivangi is telling about the past samskaras, the childhood samskaras. So this is what is Vishaya Sangara. So Vishaya Sangara means although a person becomes convinced and inspired and embarks upon the path of devotion and is continuing one's sadhana, something called the past impressions resurface again and again, and take you back to the old habits, and they distract you on the path. Old conditions. It could be something simple like hearing mundane music, or something serious like breaking regulated principles. It could be anything. Some past impressions, and especially in Kali Yuga, there is no dearth for wrong impressions, given the society we are living. So these, even after we begin the practice of bhakti, they come back, they resurface, and they distract the practitioner on it. So this is called Vishaya Sangha. And that is, it's an ongoing battle. It's an ongoing battle. And it is not so easy to overcome. That case, today I have made my sadhana consistent for 1 week or 1 month, and I'm done. I've won the battle. No, it is an ongoing battle. Vishaya Sangha. So, so till now I have told about 4. What are these 4? that I have explained. The number 1. What's the first one of Anishtita Bhajana Kriya?
Utsahamai.
Utsahamai. Second one,
Tarana.
Ghanatarana. Yeah, Ghanatarana. Third one is
Vyudha Vikalpa.
Vyudha Vikalpa. Yeah, Vyudha Vikalpa means indecision. Yeah. Also, Vyudha Vikalpa means extensive mental speculation. That means we think, overthink and overthink so much. But that, that we actually don't act. So this is Vyudha Vikalpa. Fourth is, as I said, Vishaya Sangam. Fifth is Niyamakshama. Niyama means vows. Akshama means inability to. Shama means ability. Akshama means inability. So inability to uphold one's vows. This is called Niyamakshama. So what is Niyamakshama? Inability, as the name suggests, it's an inability to uphold one's vows. That is, I have taken a vow to chant, let's say, 4 rounds every day, or 8 rounds every day, or I have taken a vow to chant 16 rounds every day. Okay, and I'm unable to follow that. That is Niyamakshama. Yeah. So, we need to understand these subtle differences. Vishaya Sangara means becoming distracted by material desires. And Niyamakshama means inability to follow the process of bhakti. Yeah, that is, or follow certain vows. So vows could be, as I said, the number of rounds that one is chanting, or the 4 regulative principles, or any vow that one has considered as favorable for bhakti and is taken it up, but is unable to. That is Niyamakshama. So this is also, Anishtita Bhajana Kriya, the indecisive aspect of devotional service. And the last one, the 6th one, the final one, is called Taranga Rangini. What is Taranga Rangini? So Taranga Rangini is Taranga. What is Taranga? Taranga means waves. Yeah. So if bhakti is compared to an ocean, so there are something called the waves of devotion. And Rangini means to enjoy. So what does this word exactly mean is, as one begins to practice the process of bhakti, one gets some benefits. Yeah, there are some benefits that bhakti offers, some positions that bhakti offers. Some brownies, yeah, that bhakti can offer. Yeah, some facilities especially bhakti can offer. Yeah, because you're a servant of the Lord, you're trying to serve Krishna. So the universe actually reciprocates in very positive and favorable ways, and one gets many unimaginable gifts while practicing the path of bhakti. One gets fame, yeah, one gets great name, one gets position, one gets opulence, one gets even siddhis while practicing bhakti. Yeah. And to get carried away by them is one of the obstacle on the path of progressive devotion. One has to be careful. Yeah, so Taranga Rangini means becoming distracted by the facilities bhakti offers. So when one becomes distracted by these facilities, one gets carried away and falls trapped to PDA. So instead of PDS, one gets carried away by PDA. What is PDS? Pure devotional service. So instead of PDS, one gets PDA. What is PDA? Profit, distinction, and adoration. So one has to be very, very careful about that. Yeah. So as one practices bhakti, one, actually in the beautiful discussion between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, what is the greatest fame anybody can earn? So Raya Ramananda says the greatest fame anybody can earn is the fame of being a devotee of Lord Krishna. Yeah, the devotees of Lord Krishna are very, very famous. The Pandavas who lived 5,000 years ago, they're glorified till date. Yeah, that is the fame of a devotion. So we all, these days with social media, there is so much to fame. Yeah. People, they start their own page or their own channel or something, and within no time there are followers, and the followers multiply. And it's within no time people are famous on the net. It's very easy these days to become famous. But what is this fame? Because does it last once after these 100 years of our existence? Highly questionable. But see the fame of Pandavas. 5,000 years ago they existed, and till date they're celebrated. Their glories are sung. The heroes of the Ramayana, the Jatayu, Hanuman, Bali, Sugriva, who lived in Treta Yuga. Till date we celebrate names. Their fame. That is fame. Fame is that which is not destroyed by time. Yeah. So bhakti offers such kind of opulences. A simple example. See, our Yamuna Mataji, once when she sung, the first time she sang this Govindam Adipurusham song, it was the recording by Beatles. So at that time, Prabhupada's disciples, they were all in London. So at the Apple Recording Center, they recorded this Govindam Adipurusham. And they sent this recording to Prabhupada. Yeah, and so when Prabhupada heard that recording, the Govindam Adipurusham song, which all of us hear when we go to ISKCON at 7:30 a.m. whenever there is Darshanarti. So this song was recorded in the Apple studio and was sent to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada heard, when Prabhupada first heard this song, Govindam Govindam Adipurusham Bhajam. So you all got to know what song I'm referring to. So when Prabhupada first heard this, he just closed his eyes and, incessant tears started coming out of his eyes. And he called his disciples and said, this song should be played in every ISKCON center at the time of Darshanarti of the deities for always. So he was so pleased with the devotion of Yamuna Mataji, and this is what Prabhupada said. And ever since then, that is why in every ISKCON at 7:30 a.m., when the deities are beautifully dressed and they open, it's the best time of the day. The deities are beautifully dressed and they open the altar. And this is the song that comes, because this is the order of Prabhupada. Actually, in the book, Yamuna Mataji writes that when they were recording the song, it was a group of them who were singing, but she didn't want to be the central person to sing. Somehow, George Harrison, he just, and her voice became the most prominent voice in the entire song. And it really touched Prabhupada so much that this is what he said. So this is fame. This is what is fame. See, any temple you go, so, the most beautiful part of the day starts with the amazing, the eternal voice of devotion of Yamuna Mataji. So that is true fame. So, but what is the attitude of a devotee? Yeah, so fame comes to a devotee even unasked. Yeah. Even though they don't want it, they're not trying for it, they're not after it. Fame itself comes to them. So the devotee need not do anything for it. But what a devotee does is not to become distracted by the fame or the facilities that bhakti starts giving one. Just like Bharat Maharaj, he got so much of facility as a king of Ayodhya, but he never enjoyed the facility or the permission. He only took the responsibility. So that's the attitude of a true devotee. So this is, so I will end here. So today's discussion, we have discussed about the process of bhakti, how it starts with Shraddha, we've discussed about the different types of Shraddha, which leads to Sadhu Sangha and Bhajana Kriya. And why I have discussed about Bhajana Kriya is it has so much to do with our chanting. Yeah, our chantings. Why is it that chanting is sometimes regular, sometimes irregular? It is because we are all in the phase of Anishtita Bhajana Kriya, unsteady. The unsteady phase of performing one's bhajan. So what are these unsteady stages? There are different types. One is, as I stated, the first is utsahamai, being overly enthusiastic. Hari Bol, I'm so sorry. I don't know. For some reason, my net got disconnected. So, yeah. All right. So that's all. So these are the 6 types of Anishtita Bhajana Kriya. And a devotee who is serious on the path of bhakti will carefully guard against, understand, first of all, is what these unsteady aspects of Bhajana Kriya are, and correct, fine-tune one's attitudes in a way that, so once the diagnosis is, so these are things which point to the subtle anarthas which block our progress on the path of bhakti. So one needs to be careful and guarded against these kind of conditions of, being over enthusiastic or sporadic in one's endeavors, or being inconsistent, or being carried away by the facilities of bhakti, or all these, and so on and so forth. And when one understands that is why bhakti is a scientific process. It is not some kind of a mere sentiment or emotion. It has so much to deal with one's inner energies and fine-tune them, and align them with what is permanent. So that's when one can progress and remain healthy in the process of bhakti. Okay, so thank you all very much. So I will end here. Any questions?
Mataji, 2 questions.
Yes.
Mataji, can we have a combination of all these? Like, can we have more than one? And like, after knowing what the like, out of these what we have, how can we like improve?
Yeah. So after we know what our problem is, can we overcome it? Definitely. Definitely. The very purpose of scriptures is to give hope to the practitioners. So these are all something like, sometimes a diagnosis helps a person to take care of the cure, right? Sometimes we neglect even the diagnosis. So once we have a nice checkup done, we understand what's happening within, and we plan systematically as to how to remain healthy, right? So is these a deeper understanding with the process of bhakti. It's like it points out, like for example, today we have read all these phases in Anishtita Bhajana Kriya. Certainly, we resonate with some of these. happening with our own mind. So next, when we understand it, that itself is like becoming aware. Oh yes. So this is where I'm, I'm falling prey into this situation, sporadic endeavors, or getting carried away by the facilities, or indecisive, especially being indecisive. So this is when we understand that yes, this is where I'm falling short, and next step is to seek help. To seek help. Yeah. So when we are in a deep well, when we know where exactly we are in that deep dark well, we can shout out like, "Hey, I'm here." So that's when we get the rope right to the level where we are, so that we can hold on to it and just go up. So bhakti is all about just holding on, just holding. It's the art of holding on and not letting go. There are millions of distractions, so many things, so many people trying to distract me, so many things that are trying to distract me, so many goals that are trying to distract me. But no, I'm holding on. I'm holding on. That's all. So bhakti is a process of holding and calling out for him. So when we know that this is what I am surrounded with, I will know that I will need help. So when we really know genuinely that I need help, we call out for help. We reach out for help. So we then begin to talk to people. So recently, I'll just give a small example. So recently, I have just been to my college, to do my PhD, to meet my guides. So I got to interact with certain guides and co-guides of mine. And so when I was like, there's this amazing professor who's from Gujarat. He's very, very well read in qualitative analysis and research methodologies. So in my short interaction with my professor for just about at least for 20 minutes to half an hour, probably the kind of wisdom that I gained and the direction I got, I wouldn't have got it by spending months on, at least 10 to 15 books. Even if I would have read, I wouldn't have got the wisdom that I got in 15 days. I mean, in that 15 minutes time. So, and that means until I knew that, when I went there to do my, to give my exam, I understood that I'm not prepared. I need time. I actually asked for 2 months time, and I understood the depth of my ignorance. And that's when I started seeking help. And when I got the help, I understood the value of it. So many times when we are not aware of how much we are falling short of what is needed, we tend to be on a pseudo platform thinking that I'm almost there. Just a little more, like Maharaj says, just a few more rounds, just a few more plates of prasadam, and just 1 or 2 yatras more, and I'm a pure devotee. Almost there. We just have a tendency to think that way. So, some literature like this, written by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad. First time I came across this when I was in Pune. My mentor has taught this to us. And in the year 2010, I came across this, what I'm just teaching you today. When I first read it, when I came across this, I was like, wow, this is so amazing. It resonates so much with what I'm going through. All this Anishtita Bhajana Kriya is what I'm going through. It's like my biography. So I was very excited. And then I began to understand, I'm thinking I'm something only in Bhakti. I'm just, I'm dangling here. So we become very introspective and in a position to, in a attitude to actually seek help. We open up for help when we understand these dynamics of devotion. Okay, I hope this helps, Riddhi. And so when you're seeking help, help comes. And it will give you direction. So we can discuss it with our mentors. So this is what I am facing. So how do I come across? Yeah. Okay. I hope it answers, Riddhi.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Haribo. Yeah. Any other? Okay, Meghna has a question. Dandavad Hari Bol, Meghna. So happy to see you. I am moody. Please help me to overcome. Most of the time, I act in this mode only. So what to do? So I think once I have told this in one of my sessions, better than mode of ignorance is mode of passion. The better than mode of passion is mode of goodness. And better is to transcend all the modes. So sometimes when we are in moody, we are immediately unable to elevate ourselves to something of goodness. Yeah. Let us at least try not to remain in the mode of ignorance and get out of it through some activity. That is at least better. So activity might include doing something or going out for a walk or talking to somebody who is, who's meaningful association, who's good association. Do something. Yeah, just the process of doing something will get us out of the slumber, that is always pulling us back, pulling us down. It takes a little bit of that endeavor to step out of that trap, yeah, and get into the next mode, at least of, passion, to get into some activity. And also, one needs to have a regulated life of sleeping, eating, and a routine, which is predictable. That also helps one be a little more balanced in life and not fall prey to moodiness. Yeah. And so there are different reasons why a person feels low. One needs to identify that, one needs to discuss that, and one needs to put an effort to overcome that. Yeah. So it's okay if a person has, all of us are human beings, and sometimes we have a bad day. Not every day is good. Sometimes we might feel a bit low. Okay, one day is understandable. 2 days is fine. But if a person is having a bad day consistently for a week or 10 days or more, then that needs serious attention. And a person has to endeavor to come out of such states of depression in life, or moodiness, or mood swings in life. So it takes endeavor and consultation, and also addressing the group. I've been just attending a very nice seminar on the role of grief in one's spiritual progress by Her Grace Sukapa Mataji. It's a very nice course. So, so one of the main aspects, essence of that course is we all have something called a buried grief. If grief of the past is not completely resolved, and if it is buried deep within, then and it is not properly expressed, so that grief, it manifests in different ways in the life of an individual. It can manifest as a feeling of loss of purpose, a feeling of inadequacy, I am not enough, or a feeling of even feelings of excessive attachment or insecurity, fear, anger, jealousy. All these are outcomes of that unresolved grief of the past. So this was what I was just learning about, in this seminar. So it's important that we sort out our lives appropriately and resolve any unsettled scores of the past. So when this helps in maintaining a good mental state, which is cheerful, predictable, and it is self-healing. Like that means even if you are low, one has a capacity to pull oneself back and get going. Yeah. So it's unique to every individual, but one needs to truly look into oneself and care for oneself as to, are there any unresolved issues in my own past or in my own life that I have buried and not expressed and not resolved. So because of which it's manifesting in these ways in the present. Yeah. So such things help, and actively taking up bhakti also, it's a very, very important. One is to deal with it. See, just like how physical ailment, we deal with it, right? We have cough or flu or headache, we deal with it by taking medication. Similarly, mental ailment. Psychologically, if we have an issue, we deal with it by seeking help, by seeking counseling. But ultimately, it's the body and mind. But ultimately, the answer lies in taking up to spirituality seriously. Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine. Any other questions? Any other question? Okay, Haribol. Yes, make them. Anyone else has any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavad Pranam.
Dandavat, Josna, Haribol.
There is one thing like inability to follow vows. Any suggestions you want to give for that, Mataji?
Niyamakshama. Yeah, Niyamakshama is inability to follow one's vows. Any suggestions? Okay. One way is to be realistic in taking up the vows. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I think I suggested similar thing in the last Ramayana class, right? To be realistic in setting one's goals. So when you have taken a vow, take a vow that is slightly outside your comfort zone, but not too much. Yeah, it is. So I mean, it can be vows of chanting, or it can be vows of some vrat. That is why actually, right from childhood our culture is so beautiful. The Indian culture is so beautiful. The girls, right from childhood, are trained to take up some vratas like Varalakshmi Vrata or something, where they fast, they keep fasting, and all these things, they build up the mental stamina. And any festival is there, like Ganesh Ji's festival or anything that we celebrate at home, until we finish cooking and offer to the deities, we don't eat, right? See, all these small things, they actually build up mental stamina. And when we have adequate mental stamina, we have the strength to follow the vows no matter what. So this is something that comes, as a process of a person's journey in life. One should have that mental stamina. Unfortunately, these days, the kind of education that we are in, and there's not much of my mental stamina that is part of a child's upbringing, because they're not given any much of challenges in life. So it is important that in the upbringing of the children, we have to expose them to some challenges, and they have, and while overcoming those challenges, they develop a lot of strength, mental strength within. You know how a tiger teaches a cub. Yeah, so there's a beautiful way, and so being periodically exposed to challenges and overcoming those challenges increases the mental stamina. When you have the mental stamina, we have the ability to uphold, keep up our vows. And that's the psychological aspect. On the other side, also, one of the ways to keep up our vows is to eliminate distractions. Yeah. So surrender, there are 6 aspects of surrender. Yeah. First aspect is anukulyasya sankalpa, and second is pratikulyasya varjanam. So anukulyasya sankalpa means that which is favorable, accept it, with determination. Sankalpa. Sankalpa means you have to make that sankalpa and accept it. And second aspect of surrender is pratikulyasya varjanam. These two go hand in hand. That which is not favorable should be rejected, varjan, with determination. Only then, we get the strength to follow vows. Like, for example, I have made a vow to chant my 16 rounds early in the morning. That is anukulyasya sankalpa. Then what will be the pratikulyasya varjanam for this aspect? The previous night to sleep on time. To say no to, let's say, eating late in the night. To say no to eating heavy food in the night. To say no to watching television in the night, or to say no to binge involvement in web series, or binge watching of web series, or spending time on Netflix, or spending time on social media, So this is avoiding. That is pratikulyasya varjan. So when these two things go hand in hand, that is when we get the desired result. That is what is surrender. We are surrendering to the process. So many times we are lopsided. We do make lot of sankalpas, of the anukulya part of bhakti, but we are not determined to avoid the pratikul. That is to avoid the unfavorable. So that is, that is why our surrender is not complete. Okay, so I hope this has shed some light how to have, how to practice, how to be determined in maintaining one's vows.
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much. I felt like all the qualities, this is the answer.
What? You can?
For all the things which you have told today, for all the 6 problems, this could be the answer.
Okay, very good. Yes. So thank you. Oftentimes your questions help a lot of people, I'm sure. And thanks for that. Yes. Hari Bol. Okay. Okay, Madhushri, Hari Bol, thank you all very much. Any more questions, you can just post it in the group. Hari Bol. Yes, it's my pleasure to. Yes, so we will stop the record.